Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. And today I have a wonderful guest, Clare Ford. Clare is an expert educator, and our topic today is switched off learners achieve what is important to them. Clare, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Thank you, Mark. It is a pleasure to be here.
I'm looking forward to a conversation with you today, Clare. Before I get started, I just need to share that Clare is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Clare, can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yes, of course. So I'm Clare Ford. I'm an expert educator and a wellbeing entrepreneur with over 15 years experience in the teaching and coaching spaces.
Amazing. And can you tell us a little bit about that? What people are you serving and what help are you supporting them with?
Yeah, sure. So basically I work with kids, teens and mums as well, who, as I call it, may be switched off learners, to help them achieve what's important to them, what's purposeful to them.
And what kind of problems do they face, Clare? Just in general, what kind of problems normally are you helping them to get through so that they can achieve what it is that is important to them?
Yeah, so generally it's interesting because what they come to me for example, might be some support with GCSE maths. But then what they actually go away with is a newfound confidence to tackle problems, to ask questions, to try after they failed, to have a go at something they didn't think they could do. So it's a lot wider. The result is a lot wider and a lot bigger than what they initially come to me for.
I hear you. So you must be super busy at the moment because so many kids have been off school, getting behind. So your service has been great through these testing times.
Yes, absolutely. And, it was at the beginning of COVID that led me to actually launch the Switched On Academy, in response to this, in response to the parents who were struggling at home to educate their children, in response to the children who were worried about falling behind, not keeping up, not catching up, not understanding. There's a huge deal of anxiety right now around education.
I hear you. Now, do you recall a specific aha moment that led to the launch of your business? I think you may have touched on that a little bit.
Yes, I do. I was out walking. I go for a walk every day and I've been teaching for 15 years, right? And I've always been a bit embarrassed to say I'm a teacher. I was teaching to build my coaching business and all of that. And I literally got a nudge from the universe, right? Like a kind of a wake up, and I kind of got this message that, Clare, you're this amazing educator with all these years of experience, with all these resources at your fingertips, with all these ways of planning and delivering lessons. People need you now because they don't know how to do it. So I was literally kind of nudged into stepping into and owning this education side to myself, which up until then I'd kind of kept a bit hidden and had been embarrassed about, to be honest.
I love a ha-ha moment, Clare. What really motivates you to jump out of bed every single morning?
is, it's the messages that I get from the kids themselves, and I'll share some of those maybe a bit later, but, it's about how they become more confident, how they're happier, how they're doing something that they love, how they now have got a direction in life, how they're not so anxious about what's around the corner. Because let's face it, Mark, these people are our future, right? So it's important that we look after them.
I hear you, and it's important that kids are confident and happy. I myself speak in schools around bullying, drug awareness and mental health. I myself had a hard time at school, so it's great that you're giving these kids confidence and happiness, and it is truly, truly needed, especially through these times we're going through right now. What sets your business apart, and what unique need are you filling for your customers?
Yeah, so I think the thing is, basically, I have a kind of a 3-tiered approach. And what I do, which is unique, is that I can combine emotional well-being and the teaching, which redefines education, you see, beyond just the academic success. So I use my unique methodology and skills also as a quantum energy healer and as a well-being practitioner to actually increase not just the intelligence quotient, the IQ, but also to increase EQ and SQ, the emotional and spiritual quotients as well, which not just then educates, but it also empowers and elevates our learners.
I really wished I had this when I was at school. I'm very spiritually aware now, but I didn't know about it at school. If only I did, that could have had a big impact on the way I felt at school. Why is your service especially important in today's modern world?
Yeah, I mean, this is such a good question. I looked up some statistics earlier so that I had the absolute up-to-date information. And the Mental Health Foundation has shown that, at least 20% of all children and young people now have a mental illness. That's 1 in 4 children, right? And that can include depression, anxiety, low mood, low self-esteem, self-harming. But actually, the really sad statistic from Papyrus, which is the prevention of young suicide, is that suicide is now the largest cause of mortality for people under 35. Right? So basically more and more of our young people are actually committing suicide. And, this has happened very close to my home. My son's best friend at school committed suicide at 15. So this goes across different kind of economic groups. This goes across different kind of educational groups. This is actually happening in all sectors of our society now. And the terrible thing is that certainly here in the UK, only a quarter of the children who seek help actually get support. And this happened to my son, right? He was showing depressive tendencies. I took him to the doctors for help. He was referred to CAMS, and he had a 6-month waiting list. And by that time, he was 17, and he no longer was in the right age bracket to have any support, right? So there's 3/4 of the children who need the support that are not getting it. And the parents are at a loss as to what to do.
That is really, really sad. No children or young adults should have to suffer alone in silence. That is really a really sad situation. I'm really happy to hear the work you're doing, Claire. It's really, really a great thing and a great service to the world. Can you share just a little more detail on the kind of services and products that you offer?
Yeah, of course. So I provide a range of workshops, courses, coaching services and one-to-one tuition, which is all available online. For example, I've got somebody who comes to me for one-to-one maths GCSE tuition, but she's also done a confidence workshop. She's also doing a teen transformational coaching program to manage stress and anxiety. So there's a range of things, you see, because you can cherry pick from the academic, but also the emotional support. And and the spiritual stuff as well. So she's going to do a beginner's course for crystals because that's what she's actually interested in. So I love that. I love the different kind of modalities that I can offer, which really meets the students where they're at and what they're interested in.
We're on the same page, Claire. I collect crystals. I have a lovely collection here, big amethyst and just all sorts, quartz, rose quartz. I absolutely love crystals. Now, I want to say you have just launched a new book. Big congratulations. Share with our listeners something that they will find interesting about the book and tell us a little bit about what it's about.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this book because you see the magic part of it is that I haven't written it alone. I've actually collaborated with young authors and illustrators from all around the world, kids and teens, in response to a workshop that I set up in the summer because people were bored at home. They were bored of the schoolwork. They were bored of home educating. They didn't know what to do. So I said, right, let's do a creative writing challenge. And we went from a blank piece of paper to a publishable story in 7 days. They had to turn up for an hour every day for 7 days, follow the procedure, follow my teachings, put into action what I taught them, and then they submitted their stories. And then the winning stories are the ones that are included in this special book. But the other thing is, it's a teaching resource for parents and educators because at the back, I've included all the things that I taught the children about to showcase how to make your story effective. And so parents and teachers can look through that and they can see, okay, so if I'm supporting my child or my teenager to do this, this is what they need to have in their piece of writing to make it a great piece of writing.
That is absolutely genius, Claire. I love that. That is such a great thing to put together, and it's helping both the children and the parents or teachers. That is a genius idea. How can our listeners get a hold of it?
Well, so it's out now on Amazon, Lollipops and Rainbows. It's out in the UK, in the US, and in France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. So that's available for purchase on paperback or Kindle. And when we launch on the 4th, 5th, and 6th, all the proceeds from the launch are going to be going to the NSPCC charity, which runs Childline, which is gives people a phone number they can ring. The child can ring it or the parents can ring it if they feel that their children are distressed because of those things we talked about earlier. So it's supporting, the mental and emotional well-being of children as well by launching this book. So you can get it now, or depending on when you're listening to this interview, you can if you get it on the 4th or the 5th or the 6th, there will be a discount in the price. So you can maybe buy a few more copies.
Amazing. And that's going back to charity as well, which is absolutely incredible. Now, I know you have all sorts of client success stories. Can you just share one that really stands out to you? Yeah,
so I'd like to share a young girl, Mia's testimonial with you. So she came to me for tuition, but she had a lot of social anxiety. She has panic attacks. Her confidence was really low. She was self-harming. Every time she went to maths lessons, she never answered any questions. She was always in tears. She was at the bottom of the class. She never understood it for years. So there was a way to go, right? And after a few sessions working together, she now has a go. Her confidence is much higher. She's gone from the bottom 2 in the class to the top 5 in the class. And I'd like to just read you. She sent me a message literally the other day. I'm just going to read you out her testimonial. Would that be okay?
Of course, go ahead.
So this is Mia speaking now. So she says, "Hi Claire, I just wanted to say a massive, huge thank you for everything. I can't even explain to you how much you have helped me academically, but also mentally. Not only am I noticing a huge build of confidence in my maths, but also confidence in knowing that making a mistake is okay and will only help me learn more. You've shown me that mistakes are part of maths, and without mistakes, I certainly wouldn't be able to move forward. You're a wonderful woman and an amazing inspiration to me. I am never afraid to make a mistake or not understand something when I'm with you, because I know you will always find a way that'll fit to me to adjust to the problem. You've lifted a huge weight off me, and I'm no longer afraid to take my exams. I honestly cannot thank you enough. I have always come away from you having learnt something new. Thank you so, so much.
Claire, that is absolutely beautiful, and how beautifully put together as well. It's just touching, the impact you're having on these children, and it must be so, so rewarding for you.
Yes. It is, and it's so humbling as well, you know, to know that just a few sessions with this young girl, she wants to become a midwife, right? So she's going to be delivering babies. She's going to be delivering our next generation, right, after her even. And so to have an impact on a young person's life who's going to be able to move forward and do something that she loves is just huge. Who knows kind of what positivity this is bringing to humanity.
And you can smile knowing that you have helped change so, so many lives. How do clients typically hear about you, Claire? And are there certain life moments that usually lead to them seeking you out?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm often referred by parents who are, you know, happy and satisfied to see how their children are, you know, have changed and for the better. But also, I'm very active on social media. You can find my pages and my groups on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram. I would say critical times, well, obviously COVID has thrown all of that into the air, but generally speaking, it's just before exam times. So I'm busy over the summer preparing for the exams in September. I'm busy now preparing for exams in January. And then from about February, March onwards, generally supporting children preparing for their exams in the summer. That's the sort of peaks and troughs, as it were. But because of these, the anxiety that so many teenagers are facing, actually my teen transformation program runs all through the year, and you can hop into that whenever you want to. The point is, reach out for help. No parents, no family, no child or teenager needs to go through this stressful time alone. So any time is a good time. Just start. Just reach out for help and start is what I would say.
That is a great way to end the show as well, Claire. Just start. I will make sure that your LinkedIn link is easy access so that anyone listening who would like to connect with you can just easily get to you through LinkedIn. Is there anything we did not share today that you would like to cover, Claire?
Well, no, not really. It's just that, you know, this creativity, mixing creativity and fun with learning is definitely the way forward. And it's about thinking outside the box as well, you know, thinking outside the box, trying new things. So I'm trying this nativity play script challenge, doing the first ever online nativity show for Christmas, right? It could go terribly wrong, but we're having a laugh doing it. So I'm always running little mini challenges to kind of just push the boundaries of learning, you know, beyond academic success. So keep your eyes peeled, connect with me, find out what's going to be new in January 2021, and let's see if you can join in with our Switched On Collective.
Incredible. Claire, I have really enjoyed a conversation with you today. Thank you so much for being on the Brilliance Business Show.
Thank you so, so much, Mark.
You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.